Hi, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself. Woo! We're going to have a lot of fun. I actually have to have a poll around the woohoos. Every so often you get someone who goes, why do you do the woohoos for? It sounds nappy. And other people will go, woohoo, all the time. Most people, 99% of people in the chat going, woohoo. So don't know what's happening there. But every so often you get someone wonder, what the heck's going on? I don't know if they've ever been to a sports game and people get excited about the sports game and they're doing the wave and doing everything else. So just the way it goes, maybe we'll have a poll. I'll have a poll on that. Who knows? People like polls. We'll do polls. All right, so let's get into it. We've got a lot to go on today, man. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this. I've managed to formulated a couple of the ideas that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks and days. So we're going to have to get into all that with this presentation. Booyah! Boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Hey, should I put that in a poll as well? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, great. There we go. All right, so feeling good. This is our second live stream of the day. Of course, Hex Token, your host, Suitman in the house. And, of course, we've got lots to talk about, so I hope you guys are going to enjoy the presentation. We're going to look at the first part is the presentation, Hex Ecosystem Window of Opportunity. And, of course, I was starting to talk about that in this morning's live stream, and I thought I'd flesh it out and simplify it as well. And, of course, we're also going to look at the Pulsechain vertical integration crypto domination. Both of these things, founded by Richard Hart. But, of course, the community is building on top of what Richard Hart has created and, of course, all building at the moment. So this is the year of infrastructure, Richard said. And, of course, he is building. And we're looking forward to the fruits. And many smart people have jumped on the bandwagon. And, of course, we're making lots of new dApps in the ecosystem that are really going to accelerate the crypto takeover and, of course, the fundamentals as well. So it's a really, really good time. At this stage. Now, obviously, we're going to have a few little insights from Richard Hart as well during this live stream, so I hope you guys enjoy that. Let's get into the chat first, though, and say hello. I'm pretty sure the audio is running okay, so let's just double check that. Sounds good to me. So there we go. It's looking good. Now, we've got a poll on at the moment, so definitely get in on the poll. Are you looking to buy Hex over the next 4 to 6 weeks? Obviously, Hex Ecosystem Window of Opportunity. And, of course, we're going to spell it out there. Yes, lots. Yes, a little, maybe, and no. I guess a lot and a little depends on, what you consider a lot and a little, but get in there as well. All right, let's get into the chat and see who's in the house. And then I'll probably leave a timestamp later on for people coming in after the live stream. We've got Stan now in the house there. Woohoo! Good to see it, Brian. And, of course, never going to make it for the stream. But first comment is a good thing. I think so, Brian. I think you got that for sure. Later here, boss, crashing. But sure you will kill it like you always do. I appreciate it, Brian. Big shout out to you. Rest up. And Katie in the house as well. Good to see it. Woo, Superman. Yeah, good to see you, Katie. We're rocking on here. Now, Vets in Crypto. Oh, boy. It's time yet. Bang, bang, says Vets in Crypto. It is time. Unimax as well. Hi, all. Good to see Unimax in the house. CJ in the house as well. And, of course, D-Hex. Man, I know all these names so well. It's crazy. Let's go Hexkins, Pulsexkins, and Hex Drone Hexicans all around the world. Nice one, D-Hex. I'm sure that there are a lot of people coming to this chat now trying to get me twisted over, but D-Hex, that's a pretty good summary of all the stuff that's coming. D-Hex says, go to pulsehotlist.com to view all the products on Pulse there. Yeah, and the other thing, of course, you can go into Discord. We have all of this. We have every single thing you could possibly do to look at projects. Pulse Hotlist is one of them. Paul Dugan in the house there. Good to see you. Wahoo, says Paul. That's a little bit of a variation. Matt and Barley as well, Hex Token channel member. Are you the first one in the chat? After Brian, you are. Nice to see Matt and Barley, supporter of this channel. Big shout out. And, of course, if you want to become a member of this channel, hit the join button. We've got Pulsekins, Hexicans, and the Richard Hart Club. Just 3 simple ways of supporting the channel. And, of course, as we do 2 live streams a day. And, man, this whole community is going to blow up. You know that, eh? It's going to get real big. I mean, not blow up in a physical sense, but it's going to blow up in amazing growth. We're going to have absolutely outstanding growth. In the Pulsechain Hex ecosystem. It's going to be insane in the membrane. Hold on to your hat for that. Hold on to my Top Gun hat. There we go. Hey, Paul Dugan in the house. Hey, good to see you, Paul. Matt and Barley says, hey, Superman, you are the man to ask. Is there a minimum amount of Hex needed to stake for 1 year? A minimum amount of Hex needed to stake for 1 year. Well, you can do whatever you want. I think the minimum is 1 Hex. And, of course, you can do that. I think that Maddie Allen has got the record, I think, for the lowest Hex stake. Because, if you break up the Hex into hearts, the small units, like Bitcoin has Satoshis, 1 in 100 billion, I think it is. And, of course, 100 million, is it? 100 million, I think. And, of course, we have hearts in the Hex. So it's 1 Hex, and then all the decimal places are hearts in there. And of course, you can look at that one. I can't even remember his video he did a long time ago around staking some hearts. Try to do the lowest stake. You could possibly do that. Well worth checking out on Matty Allen's channel there, Matt, with the smallest stake. But yeah, I can't actually remember, but pretty sure it was pretty small. King Tick's in there as well. In my opinion, a BNB guy, them fees have been killing, but I am buying stakes, so Hex soon. King Hex Tech says, I'm trying to interpret that. Stake and Hex soon. Yeah, buy Hex and stake it, that's for sure. King Tex, if I'm reinterpreting that. Wookie in the house there. Good to see you, Wookie. And Hex Force 1 has landed as well. Bought more Hex today. You're front running my poll there, Hex Force 1. You're front running my poll. And of course, it's over the next 4 or 6 weeks, not today. Hex Force 1, nice that we have to do the bow down for the old Hex buy. Waiting for that vent, says it's primitive. Nice to see it. Yeah, the vents get taken off there on the picture if you're talking about that. 1 cent says it's primitive. Yeah, 1 cent. Sorry, that makes a lot more sense. Hey, you guys are trying to make these comments really challenging with these old rephrases here. Waiting for that 1 cent, says it's primitive. Hey, you never know your luck. You never know if you're going to get a wick down on the price charts. And, of course, you just never know. Some people do get the opportunity. They keep their limit orders down at half cent, 1 cent, 2 cents. You just never know your luck. At the moment, of course, the chart is against you. And I would say that probably a lot of the other things that we're going to talk about are against you as well in terms of getting that cheap prices. And they're still cheap. Hex is still a pretty easy way to get in. We're currently at about 89.5% on a discount at the moment from all-time high. So you're still getting it pretty good. I think we're up about 90% from the low of 2.8 cents. So very, very cool. Man Barley says, sorry for the silly question, but have been following Pulsex as I have no Hex. I'm not quite sure what your question is, Matt. I think you might need to rephrase it in the chat there. Let me know again. Let's ask that again. Of course, you can get into Discord, Matt, and ask that in Discord. You know, it's probably a bit easier to answer that in Discord too sometimes. Been watching you all day, Superman. 3 live stream, Brennan. You rock. You rock. 3 live streams. Brennan's been watching 3 Superman all day. It's a Superman binge party. That's how we roll. Dave says, I live in a pirate ship. Let's say this fast, says Dave down under. I live in a pirate ship. I live in a pirate ship. That's about it. Matt and Barley says, okay, great. Wasn't sure. I know 1 year minimum time, but wasn't sure on the amount of Hex. Thanks. Rocket Mob in there. How's it going, Superman? Good to see you, Rocket Mob. A very good morning to everybody. Says Hexbuck. I have a big shout out to everybody in the UK. Hexbuck always reminds me to say hello to the Scottish, the Irish, the Welsh, and the English in the good old UK there. Big shout out. They're all waking up in the morning, getting their coffees and things like that. So cool. Keep buying. A dollar cost average is the only way, says Rocket Mob. Definitely a DCA. A good way to be. And, of course, Refines in house. Cheers, everybody. Hey, that's pretty good. A long introduction. Hey, but we're going to get into it. Let's go. Hex ecosystem, window of opportunity, and Pulsechain, vertical integration, crypto domination. Let's get into it. Bam. Do you love that picture? I like it. Looking out at the awesomeness that's being built. That's probably Richard there looking out saying, man, I'm building some pretty awesome stuff here. Let's go. All right. Hex ecosystem, window of opportunity. Let's get into it. Now, this is kind of summarizing a lot of stuff I was saying earlier today in the last couple of weeks. So let's get into it. We've got August. Obviously, we're in August at the moment. Depending on where you are in the world, it's the 8th or 9th of August. And, of course, here we are with the thing. This is us today, 8th or 9th of August. And, of course, what we've got coming up this week on Wednesday, of course, is almost upon us. That's going to be in probably 2 days from me. 1 day, 2 days for me. 1 day for me and 2 days for people in North America, for example. We've got the CPI coming up there. And, of course, that's going to be coming up. And, of course, on Wednesday. So that's going to be pretty important. The inflation numbers, that's kind of the big indicator coming up and ahead of us. And, of course, after that, we may get a bit of volatility from that, the CPI. It may also influence people's expectations about the Fed Reserve. But before that, of course, we're going to have ICOSA HSI buybacks coming into play. And that's going to be really, really important. So HSI buybacks, that's huge for Hex. And, of course, that means that a certain amount of that is going to end up being bought on the market. How much, we don't know. But we do know I have anecdotal evidence from people saying that they've been buying Hex, of course. And so that's really, really cool. And how much is going to be played out? We know that 350 million Hex, over 350 million Hex has been put into HSI stakes. And, of course, how much will be put into the HSI stakes to sell to a ICOSA contract? Remember, there's 4 different key things in ICOSA. There's staking Hex. Sorry, they're staking Hedron, staking ICOSA, selling HSI stakes to the ALGO contract, and number 4, we are all SA. Those are the 4 principal economic financial products, I guess, on the platform. And of course, selling HSIs in the first 30 days is the only way you're going to be able to get ALGO straight out of the gate there. So that's going to be super big, important. And of course, to get HSIs, that's Hex stake instances. It's just another form of staking Hex, but you get by putting Hex in a little smart contract, you get extra features like being able to borrow Hedron against it, things like that. But what you're going to do with those HSI stakes, you put Hex in there, and you're going to sell it to the ALGO contract and get ALGO back. And of course, you're going to have that early. Now, the thing with that, of course, is that a certain amount's going to come from people's liquid wallets, and a certain amount's going to come from the market. We don't know, question mark over those, what that is going to be. But I suspect it's going to be pretty popular. And we're already seeing some early excitement around with Alex with that. So that's pretty cool. Now, Alex has posted just a little update about there. And so what we're going to see is people have to buy Hex. So this is bullish for Hex here. So Hex ecosystem window of opportunity. It's going to, hopefully, this is going to put more buy pressure into the market. So it's going to actually make Hex go up and up and up and up. So this is really bullish. So I'm suggesting that we're going to see the Hex price appreciation over this period of window of opportunity. So obviously people picking up Hex now are going to benefit the most, right? Assuming this all plays out just as the way I'm painting it here. So these products are coming. They're big products. They're second layer products on top of Hex. So very important. So let's see how that goes. So we've got an update from Alex. This was just a little while ago. And of course, was it 10 to 2? So about 3.5 hours ago. You guys won't want to miss my stream with Sloth Crypto 3, Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Very important. ALGO details will be shared. Now, Sloth Crypto, a smaller YouTube channel, but has been pretty dedicated to covering ALGO and Hedron. So that's probably why they're on the channel there. But we will, be covering those details in any case. So that's pretty cool. That was just shared about 3.5 hours ago. So obviously, important ALGO details coming up. Hopefully, that's most likely going to be the launch. He's pretty much that's where he's at pretty much. So excited to see that. So hopefully we'll find out when that launch date's coming in. But at the moment on here, I've got here kind of mid-August. Seems like around about the right time. So if Alex is having this on Wednesday, then we could reasonably expect that. That's going to be like the 9th. We could reasonably expect this to be before that. So it's going to be pretty exciting. Now, next thing we've got, of course, coming in after that is the Maximus Perpetuals. And of course, this is a different dev, of course, Dip Catcher. And we're going to be coming up with the base, the trio, the lucky, and the decky. That's 1 year, 3 years, 7 years, and 10 years. And of course, this is all going to be buying more Hex. So we're buying more Hex, buying more Hex. Now, how much are we going to get through here? Obviously, all of these, to get the maximum benefit out of these contracts, to ring out the bigger pays better bonus, they all need at least 150 million to max out those. So that's 4 times 150 million is 600 million. And let's say that we just get 10% buying pressure onto the market. The rest of it comes from people's Hex in their liquid wallets. That is, 60 million Hex that needs to be bought on the market. So we're talking millions of dollars there. And so that's huge, right? We've got about 165 million in the liquidity pools at the moment. So you can imagine 60 million, 165. That really pushes the pressure up way above 10 cents, probably up towards, the 15 cent mark up there, even higher. So looking pretty good around that ballpark. So I've been pretty bullish on Hex for a while. As you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, I posted, August looks bullish for Hex. So obviously the time frames I don't have complete control over, that's subject to the team. But looks like maybe on Wednesday we'll get ALGO's launch date. That's very cool. Now, buy more Hex, of course, this is all the buy pressure coming into the market. And of course, these are both second layer derivatives of Hex, looking bullish at the moment. So cool. Now I've got this Maximus Perpetuals. We don't know the launch date. Obviously, we're still expecting audits in here. I don't think we're going to have audits from ALGO based on the last tweet that we had from Alex. But we'll have audits here before launch, probably on all these tokens. And so it's probably going to be a bit later after ALGO there coming up. So that's going to be cool. Now, obviously, we've got the next feast coming in September. And of course, that's going to have a few things in it as well. Now, we've got obviously the 6th of the 9th. We've got PulseCon 2022 coming. And of course, that's going to be super exciting. Up to 3,000 people going to be there. And currently, it looks like Richard's in the United States. And obviously, with his mother there. It looks like that there's a reasonable speculation of chance there that he will actually physically be at PulseCon. because he's currently fixing toilets or something like that at the moment, like putting in a toilet stuff. So we're getting videos of that on Twitter. He's a man of mystery, not so much of mystery, he sort of publishes it, but very, very cool. So we've got this coming on, Pulsechain's coming up there on the 19th, of course. We've got the ETH2 merge accepted, 19th of September. And of course, we've also had that recent drama, which has actually been around for a couple of days, but the recent drama about the ETH fork there by Goo, going to fork Ethereum at the fork there and keep the proof of work version of it. So that's been a bit of excitement around the market. But in any case, ETH 2.0 merge, of course, that is the docking. And of course, where the proof of work is and the beacon chain dock and to become a proof of stake. And of course, that proof of stake really is the future. These high energy proof of works are going to be less popular over time. So that's going to be pretty cool. That's on the 19th. So these are all pumpermentals. Look at them. Icosa, Maximus, Pulsechain, huge premier event in Las Vegas, up to 3,000 people. Possibly Richard will be there too, physically rather than just digitally. We will find out about that though. So that's my speculation. ETH 2.0 merge, of course, coming up. Super bullish for the market. The market has been responding to that pretty nicely as well. So looking cool. So at the moment, we've got CPI coming on Wednesday. Probably the only real hurdle there. We've got a few other statistics coming up, like house permits and a few other things, but mostly this is the one. We've got quarter-to-quarter GDP numbers coming late August, but CPI numbers really on Wednesday is probably the most important one at this stage, feeding into the Fed Reserve. So into later into September, we're on the 21st. We have got the Fed rate hike. So you might have heard me mention 22nd, 23rd. So that was just me misspeaking there. 21st there is the date that we're expecting a Fed rate hike. And so this is the main game here. So these two in red, these are the ones that can cause market fluctuations, cause pull downs in markets, particularly stock market, and then secondary the crypto market more broadly. But in any case, regardless of these, we have all these bullish metrics coming up. And of course, crypto also has ETH 2.0 merge just before the Fed rate hike. Can you believe it? So this is pretty cool. And so what does this give us? It gives us a window of opportunity in the short term. So pretty cool, a window of opportunity, and that's bullish for Hex. This is just the short term, of course, was obviously a much longer picture to be taken into account. So very exciting for Hex at the moment. And we can see that the Hex price has been, consolidating around about 5.4 to 5.6 cents the last 24 hours. It's looking pretty good. Now, I want to get up to 6.2, 6.3 cents just to get a nice, strong, higher level base. And of course, all this economic buying here from the buying is going to be pretty bullish for Hex, in my view. So I'm excited about that. So that's kind of the window of opportunity. And I think that was the last one on there. So we're going to jump to the videos. Before we get to the video, let me just update some of the comments here in the chat. Actually, I'll do the video first and we'll get into the comments. This is the first part of the presentation. Let us get on to that. So here we go.
Said in the past, and you've been accurate about calling the bottom of Bitcoin and then calling the top of Bitcoin on these cycles. And it seems like that leads the industry or leads the bear bull. Then you also had called the watch top, and you've recently, maybe a month or so ago, had said about real estate. Where do people actually put money? If they're going to speculate on something, where do they put money?
Well, what if everything is going down? You just literally sit in cash and hope everything keeps going down, and then buy the bottom. But it's risky because some people don't update some people follow t.me/Richard's calls and they know what I'm thinking when I think it, or twitter.com/RichardHartwin. But if you don't update your life view or read what I'm thinking about often enough, you can just miss a big move, So I think the bottom will come at some point. And in Hex, it might already be here. Hex might have already bottomed. Because the last bear market only lasted a year, and we're now a year and a half into this bear market, and it's because a fake double top was bought on leverage, and now all those guys are getting liquidated. 3 Arrows Capital, etc. And then people are discovering that getting loans on your crypto is also leverage, but you just didn't know it. So now you're being forced to sell to meet your margin call of getting liquidated on your loan. But people didn't realize that could happen because they thought crypto only went up and never down. So once that's all washed out, And if macro at least pauses on the interest rate increases or goes flat for a little while, that could be our bottom, and the timing is about right for it. So X might have bottomed now. You might see bottoms in Ethereum and Bitcoin next few months, hopefully. But really, the interest rates does affect it.
Right.
So the Fed can, if they keep raising rates, I mean, if they move rates back to the 70s, you're going to continue to see prices decline across everything. But here's the part that people don't get, that I know that nobody else knows. If the prices continue to go down and the value of your assets continues to go down, it cancels out. So if you had assets and you wanted to buy a house with them, the house goes down and your assets go down, but they go down the same rate, you broke even. And so the real difference in a market where the very, very occasional instance where cash is actually becoming more valuable almost never happens, but we're in it now. As long as what you have isn't dropping at the same rate the prices of the stuff you want are, you're still ahead of the game. It's an interesting little analysis that could make you feel better about watching the price of things go down.
Right.
I mean, that's the difference. If you don't own the thing, you want the price to go down. If you do own the thing, you want the price to go up. So it's really just a question of what you own. You own real estate, you want the price to go up. You want to buy more real estate, you want the price to go down. You own crypto, you want the price to go up. You want to buy crypto, you want the price to go down. Oh, interesting fact. You may not have heard this, but the sacrifice addresses for Pulsechain and Pulsex, at one point, we're sitting on $660 million of stablecoin.
All right, so pretty interesting there from Richard. Obviously talking about the fact that the Hex price may have had the bottom in. And of course, we've been pretty bullish on Hex, regardless of the fundamentals going on, but with all these different projects coming up. So very, very cool. Whew, exciting. And of course, he did also talk about the interest rates. And of course, that is actually coming after ETH 2.0 merge. So we've got pretty bullish environment up for crypto up to this point, to the 19th. We have the Fed rate hike. We know the employment numbers came in really strong. The inflation number here on Wednesday may impact that too. So we're expecting a fairly hawkish rate rise in the Fed rate there. And it may get up to the neutral rates eventually. And we'll see whether they'll pause there. So far, that looks like where they might end up rather than actually trying to address the inflation in a full sense. So that works out well for us. So very, very cool. This is our window of opportunity. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's close our poll. We've got 47 votes. It sounds pretty good to me. We're going to have a second poll as well for the second half of the live stream. For the second half of the presentation. So we've got, are you looking to buy Hex over the next 4 to 6 weeks? Yes, lots, 38%. Yes, a little, 36%. Maybe 14%, and no, 10% out of 47 votes. So that's pretty cool. Pretty bullish amount of people buying. So what's that? 74%. So 3 out of 4 people are going to be buying. And of course, 14% may be buying there. So that's pretty good. So 90% are or likely to be buying or maybe buying there is a pretty good number out of 47. So cool. Let me just set up the next poll. And of course, let me just get this out here. We're going to get into the second half of the live stream. So let's go. Let's put that on. Let's see it run. All right, cool. Let's get into that poll. Are you looking to buy Hedron or Maxi over the next 4 to 6 weeks? Get into that poll. Yes, Hedron, yes, Maxi, yes, Hedron and Maxi. Neither of them. I think those are the right options. So we get into that. We had a couple more people in the chat there, so I'm going to just go through those. What else we got here? Your Rocket Mob says keep buying. DCA is the only way. Refine says, hey, cheers to see you. Good to see you, Refine. On board, Suitman, 100% Hexkin. Nice one there, Henry. We do like the Hexkins. What up, family? Human Hex Trafficker in the house. Pa, excellent. G'day all. Good to see you, Pa. and hit the like, says Uncle Will. Yeah, definitely smash that like, and don't forget to subscribe. We're heading up towards 5,555 subscribers, and I'm saying that Hex has just reached 5.5 cents. Woohoo! 555s all around. Seems to be this magical number. Francis to Jesus in house. Hello, hello, hello. Hexo Systems, Hex absolutely pretty nice to me. Headed to bed, it says Bluegrass, but I popped in to give a shout out and tap the like. Woo! Hey, thanks, Bluegrass. Appreciate it. Sleep well. Rest up for the next day. One day closer to Pulsechain, as we say. One day closer to Pulsechain. Vote for Hedron, says Wookie. Well, there's a poll for you, Wookie. I put that up just for you. It was a good idea there. You can vote in. And, of course, we're going to end that poll. Woohoo! Hex Token Sup, Superman. Hello, everybody, says HP. Smash the like, Hexicans, definitely. And DHex says, welcome everyone to the best community in cryptos. You are right. You are right on that. Brennan says, I think I might be your number one supporter, Superman. I appreciate that, Brennan. Big shout out to you. Always appreciate the support, as always. And, of course, good day, everybody. Chinchins in the house there. Wookie 5555, the magical number. Nice one, Wookie. All right, let's get into the second half of the presentation. We're switching over from the Hex ecosystem window of opportunity, which is, you can see on this diagram, is coming up. And, of course, let us flick over to the next one. This is the second half of what Richard's been on about. And then, of course, is the year of infrastructure. So we're going to look at Pulsechain vertical integration. We've covered this in different presentations before with different perspectives and presentations. This is probably the most simplified one. We're going to get into it. So cool. Now, Pulsechain is coming. And, of course, the devs are working hard on that to make it secure and, of course, give it great performance and basically future-proof it in the future. So we're waiting for that patiently as that is in process. And, of course, we've got Pulsex coming too. That is going to be a combination. So these things work together, and this is what really makes it really strong. It's like layering a whole ton of bricks together and putting that mortar in and making this super, super strong. So very, very exciting. Pulsex, a Pulsechain, of course. Pulsechain going to be super fast, super quick, proof of stake. And you own the keys to your coins, a layer 1. So really, really powerful stuff there. A native coin PLS, and of course Pulse, and of course limited, scarce, and deflationary. 25% of the fee burns. So really whole ton of dynamics sitting into that Pulsechain. Pulsex, of course, is going to be incredible. Now, Pulsechain, of course, obviously the biggest crypto airdrop, of course. We do have knowledge about, of course, the proof of work, but this has still got that narrative together. Biggest crypto airdrop to everybody on the Ethereum chain, 300 million wallets, and, of course, over 500,000 tokens there as well. Now, obviously, it's going to be super fast and super cheap, and that's something that is why is just some of the features that people will be loving it over on Pulsechain compared to Ethereum Merge, and, of course, compared to Ethereum Proof of Work as well. So regardless of what they do, the Pulsechain narrative holds together. On top of that, of course, we're going to have Pulsex, and Pulsex potentially the biggest yield farming in crypto history. The AMM bots can harvest all the DEXs and, of course, support that as well. That with Pulsechain go together and make this same thing so delicious, as it were, because you're getting the biggest crypto in crypto history, plus you're getting the biggest potential yield farm in crypto history. It's just mind-boggling. You're going to have a dual token system as well, Pulsex, which is going to be limited and scarce as well. Both Pulse and Pulsex are scarce. And, of course, because it's been given out to sacrifices in the sacrifice process between July last year and, of course, April this year. So it really, really is a big deal. Now, if you haven't seen the sacrifice levels, people are still sacrificing, and they're sacrificing some decent money to these sacrifices. It's supposed to be officially ended at the beginning of April there, but people are still sending half an Ethereum and all sorts of stuff. Thousands of dollars are still going to the sacrifice addresses. It's crazy, and that's how much demand that people are keen to get onto the Pulse and Pulsex. This thing is a force to be unleashed when it actually launches. It's going to be crazy stuff there. Not many people hold Pulsechain, Pulse tokens. You're talking about 43,000 wallets, maybe a couple of thousand more in some of the syndicates. There's not many people. And, of course, you've got 70% of that within the top 1,000 wallets probably. And, of course, similarly in the Pulsex as well, you've got, a very small number of sacrifices, relatively speaking, maybe about 135,000, somewhere in that ballpark. Of sacrifice wallets, and of course many of those wallets held by the same people, and of course there's large syndicates in there too. So you're talking about maybe a 3-to-1 ratio in there, and of course everyone else will be after the Pulse and Pulsex. It's going to be insane in the membrane when it launches. So really, really cool. All of that's deflationary as well. Pulsex, of course, is going to have something we haven't seen before, a special buy and burn of course, on top of that deflation. So all the inflation's up front, and they're just like a balloon. The air's going to be let out, and it's just going to slowly decrease in supply on both of these. Of course, Pulsechain is going to be probably a lot faster because we got the buy and burn. And of course, we're expecting maybe $1 billion of trading volume through there, maybe 5,000 or 6,000 trading pairs. We could even get even more active, maybe over 10,000 active trading pairs. Who knows? And of course, that's going to be a magical buy and burn. $1 billion equals about $700,000 of buy and burn a day. Insane. And of course, people are going to come over to get all access to the Pulse and Pulsechain. So sacrificing sets, Genesis holders of those wallets are in a very good position, a very strong position indeed. And many of those people that are part of that sacrifice set are wanting to accumulate more. We see a small amount saying we want to sell. Some people may need to sell because circumstances have changed. But they said the vast majority wanted to accumulate more and more and more, making it harder and harder, and meaning the price is going to go up for other people to get into this. So very exciting to see that. And of course, we're probably expecting with the AMM bot, probably around about 16.5 trillion in the public hands, excluding the origin accounts, sacrifice accounts. And of course, in Pulsechain, maybe about 7.5 trillion in there. But of course, probably the vast majority, maybe 70% is held by the top 1,000 wallets, probably similar numbers for both chains. So pretty cool. Now, obviously, if the price hits 1 cent on the Pulsechain, I've already done a video on that where 11,500 millionaires would be printed. That's a pretty crazy stuff. There's a huge value creation, a huge scarcity, and massive demand coming in for these. So very cool. The other thing, of course, it's a dual token. So it's not just PLSX. It's also an incentive token for yield farmers. And I suspect that that's actually going to do pretty well as also. And of course, we've got this beautiful combination between all that proof of stake Pulsechain plus, of course, the potential biggest yield farming, harvesting all the liquidity around all these dexes like Uniswap, CCSwap, Balancer, Bancor, and others. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And coming into Pulsechain there, people are going to flood over for the yield farming opportunities. And of course, one-sided staking pools and other things that are going to be there. And of course, that incentive token and the PLSX tokens are going to be huge demand. And of course, going to drive people to come over. Yield farmers come quickly when there's a new chain, especially one that's going to potentially be the biggest liquidity yield farming on, particularly on decentralized exchanges. They're going to be coming over thick and fast for those opportunities. And so watch out for not only PLSX but the incentive token as well. It's going to be pretty fun to see that. So you can see the combination of these two together, this vertical integration, Pulsechain, Pulsechain, beautiful. And of course, there's so much more to say about that, but we're going to jump over to the next one. All right. So we've got MetaMask replacement. Obviously, Richard's got some devs working on that already. And of course, he's talked about minimum viable product, talking about having the basic things on that to make that happen. There's also, when prompted, he's been talked about the fact that the swapping feature, and I've alluded to that in the previous video. We are still expecting some sort of sacrifice set for the MetaMask as well. It seems to me that if you match up a sacrifice set with the MetaMask and swapping feature, then you would have a revenue allocation to the no expectations airdrop there as well. So that seems like a logical thing for me. Obviously, we already see that concept in Internet Money. It's a bit different in Internet Money's wallet because they've also got the IM airdrop and you earn PLS and you onboard with PLS. So there are a lot of differences there, but that core concept of revenue share may end up eventuating in MetaMask. This seems like the logical play there as well, but we will find out. That's just my speculation at this stage. On top of this, of course, a MetaMask replacement is going to be a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, and he's talked about that. Now, we are expecting solutions to come out of EB Exchange with Overwatch and Rackham Rochelle and Everything Blockchain, that consortium there, doing a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp based out of Saudi Arabia too. So probably a lot more flexibility around licenses and things like that, and all the legal work that was required for fiat on-ramps. Obviously, recently we saw Simplex come out with the credit card accepting X as well, and I think that enables US citizens as well to access that fiat on-ramp. But of course, we're talking about being able to get straight off Pulsechain and onto Pulsechain rather than having to go over through the official Pulsechain bridge over to Ethereum and then out through any other swapping features there. Now, there are a lot of solutions out there these days, but of course, having direct fiat on-ramp, off-ramp is very powerful. There's probably one or two other avenues. We may end up getting fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. I suggest that we'll probably, within a short space of time, have a couple of options that are out there, and possibly they could end up, going through a number of large utility players possibly even, I'm speculating here, but possibly even Liquid Loans, even Power City, and things like that could end up, leveraging partnerships to execute this kind of fiat on-ramp, off-ramp straight out of the chain. So we've got fiat on-ramp means we've got financial fiat energy coming into the Pulsechain. Of course, that pumps our bags. We've also got the official bridge coming in as well from Ethereum. And then we're going to have cross-swap bridges like Power City's transformer with multiple EVM chains coming in as well. So we've got lots of different solutions there, all very important for pumping economic energy into the chain, as well as people taking economic energy out of it in terms of the fiat transfer. So really exciting to see that. So this is what Richard Hart calls vertical integration. And of course, he's also mentioned as passing also margin trading potentially. But that really is not necessary. As you can see, it sort of appears and it can disappear. But this is really the cool vertical integration that Richard's talking about mostly, of course. But he has mentioned margin trading there as well. Obviously, we might end up getting basic forms of margin trading through fiat, which is a fork of Aave. It's a very basic form of that. But of course, more sophisticated forms and X multiples that you get through centralized exchanges may also be coming to the platform. So I look forward to that. The other thing, of course, in addition to this, we may end up seeing possibly some form of stable coins, although Liquid Loans will be offering probably the ultimate stable coin with USDL once Liquid Loans launches, say 4 to 6 weeks after Pulsechain does. So very exciting. So that there is kind of a wrap up of that presentation there, a very simplified version of the vertical integration that Richard Hart is building. And of course, what does this mean? This is basically a closed system, and basically we can ignore a lot of other players. Everyone will want to get on here and participate. That's pretty much how that's going to work. And it's going to have, don't forget, deflationary tokenomics, very fundamental. That is the cherry on top that makes this glow. And so it's going to be very, very exciting to see that. So let's hear about Richard about his last update about this concept of vertical integration. Let's go.
What is Pulsechain? When is it launched?
Sure.
A lot of people are asking that.
Yeah, well, Pulsechain is the world's largest free airdrop. We're going to reduce Ethereum's fees by basically doubling their capacity or more. We fork the Ethereum system state so that all of your coins get copied on the new chain for free. You can go play with those coins now if you want. Go to pulsechain.com, go use the testnet. You can go trade those coins for fun right now on the testnet. And we're just waiting for the devs to, improve a few things, higher throughput, more security. And then we can go to mainnet. It's just software's hard, right? If you want truly secure software with perfect flawless operation, it takes a while to get it right, and Hex took a long time to get right. And that's the reason Pulsechain, we've been at it for over a year now. Probably longer. We've probably been at it for about a year and a half. And we're close, man. We're so close. If my devs were dumber, we would have already launched. But because my devs are so good, it takes longer because they catch all the things. They're like, hey, this, that. You're like, yeah. So it should be miraculous because it can reduce the gas fees, which are too high. It can give us higher throughput. It can save the environment.
Yeah.
And it's got better tokenomics. It burns the coins. So 25% of the fees are just burn. And top of VIP 1559 as well, which also does burning. So I'd have to estimate how much extra burning that'll do. And so we've got PulseX, which is our fork of Uniswap, which does fee burning, no inflation, only deflation. We've got Pulsechain, which has deflation only and fee burning in protocol. It's really awesome. Like, we're going to soon have vertical integration. We're going to have Pulsechain consensus network, PulseX trading, Hex value storage. We've got a wallet being built now as a MetaMask replacement. That's nearly complete vertical integration. The only thing that's missing is fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. That's it. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
So that's kind of a summary there. Very, very tasty. So I hope you enjoyed that quick presentation of the two big things that are coming, the window of opportunity for Hex ecosystem at the moment. It's looking absolutely stellar. And of course, Pulsechain vertical integration. These things coming together, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So let's get into the end of our poll. We've got 25 votes. We're going to end our poll there on Hedron and Maxi, which are coming up. So let's get into that. Are you looking to buy Hedron or Maxi over the next 4 to 6 weeks? Neither of them, 56%. That's higher than I expected. That's pretty interesting. Of course, we had a pretty high vote for buying Hex, up to 90% there. So pretty big there with the ecosystem. Yes, Hedron, 28%. And of course, people have been talking about Hedron quite a bit lately. Yes, Hedron and Maxi, 11%. and only 3% on Maxi, which is lower than I expected. But that's the premium is pretty high on Maxi. But that's going to be fascinating to see that at the stage. Let's see how that looks maybe in a couple of weeks' time. But very, very bullish there. 25 votes. Thanks for that. Now, we've got a couple other comments in here, so I'm going to go through that very quickly before we get into the markets. Let's get into it. We've got a couple comments. Francis in the house. Hi, Suitman. Good to see you. Crypto Maniac as well. Hello, hello. Good to see you, CM. And who else is there? Matt and Barley. Love to stay, but I've got to head out and watch it later on the replays. Says Matt. Hey, enjoy yourself there, Matt. And great to see you in the chat as always. And thanks so much again, says Matt. Hex is our friend, says DB. Absolutely. Finally, I can be on live stream. Yo, Suitman. Hey, MDF Tech. Good to see you in the house. And great that you can make it to the live stream. That's for sure. I do have 2 of them a day, so your chances are pretty good that you'll be able to catch one of them at least alive as well. Uncle Will says, I think it's time for a chunk of cherry pie a la mode. I think you're right there, Unicoel. Uncle Will, I should say. Francis says, woohoo, launch Pulsechain now, sir, says DB. Let's push the button. Bam, there we are. Unfortunately, only Richard Hart and the tech and the can do that, unfortunately. Damn, if my girlfriend ate all the ice cream, says Uncle Will. That's sad. You might have to go out and get some, or maybe get an Uber in the ice cream. Life Change says, all hail King Richard. Let's go, fam. Make it rain coins, says Life Change. I like how you're talking about there. Hex is pumping at 6 cents. Woohoo! We're going to get into the Hex in the moment. Late to the party says, Great White. Hi there. Hey, good to see you, Great White. Always a pleasure. And it's really been cool seeing you in the chat there the last couple of days. Very, very nice. All right, let's talk about quickly about the actual chain here. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back into the past here, and of course we talked about the previous slide here with the ETH 2.0 coming, and of course Richard also did a recent video about that. So let's watch that quickly, and then we're going to get into the markets after that. So stay tuned. Very, very fun to watch this. All right, let's go.
Have you seen, before I lead into, I'll ask you 2. Number 1, do you think Ethereum 2.0 goes, actually happens? And when it happens, does it go ahead and dock and go off without a hitch? Or will you see problems?
Software takes a long time, and software sometimes has bugs.
But we're okay with waiting, right? I'm okay with waiting.
I'm okay with waiting. I mean, look, I'd like Pulsechain to launch before it, but truthfully, it really doesn't matter whether Pulsechain launches before it or not, because it doesn't affect the gas fees. Ethereum 2.0 does absolutely nothing to affect the gas price.
Correct.
It does nothing to increase throughput. It is the exact same gas price, homies. And so Pulsechain is there to help get those gas fees down, give everyone the largest free airdrop. And so whether we should beat them to market, but in case we don't, it's fine.
All right, so that kind of the latest up there. So that makes September a potentiality, obviously, around this ETH 2.0 merge here. So that becomes a possibility. Richard Hart's in the USA. PulseCon's on 6th of the 9th. The ETH merge there on the 19th. The docking of proof of work and BETH chain there. So that's probably the first opportunity for September launch. Obviously, on the Rolio video, he's still talking about the devs still working on it. Software's hard, and of course, maybe 2 more months. So there's some probability, I guess, that could launch as early as September. My feeling is that it's still going to be later, but I'm happy to be wrong about that. I just think that there's more work to be done, but we will see. And of course, he says even if it doesn't launch September, it doesn't matter because the ETH chain's still got the same issues. It's just a merge to proof of stake. It's not actually going to deal with the fees and the speed, which the Pulsechain will do. And of course, that you can find that actually on ethereum.org as well under misconceptions. So we've covered that before as well. Let's move on. Woohoo! Let's go. I wanted to look at that was kind of short term. We looked at the short term around the Hex ecosystem, but I wanted to zoom out a little bit and look at the longer term picture just briefly before we get into the charts. And of course, here we are down at the stakes. Now we're going to zoom in closer over to the end of 2023. So we're going to look over the next year and 4 months or so. So let's quickly have a look at that. I just want to get the right date here. So we're going to zoom in into the staking ladder here. This is the global stakes with everybody stakes right up until the end of 2023, the 1st of January, actually 24. And of course, we can see that we've only got really this one big candle coming up here on the 1st of September. So has the landscape changed from the last couple of years? Yes, it has. And of course, we used to have heaps of these billion candles. Obviously, since then, we've had lots of things happen. But man, does that look good or what? Does that look good? I think that looks pretty good. And of course, we still have all these stakes up the front, but they're slowly breaking up over time. And you can see we've got quite a lot of candles, smaller candles here, relatively speaking, all staked out until February 2023. After that, we've got quite a low valley here. Not a lot happening. We've got this one big stake out here. What's the date's this one? 24th of July, 23. And it's relatively low. We've got a little candles out here in 30th December there. But you sort of see it's still the front of the wave coming up here. So this has changed a lot, and it's going to continue to break up as we move into the future. And what else is going to eat up some of the liquid hex that's sitting around in the wallets, and of course some of the stakes that we can see before our eyes here? Well, we're going to have a look at the demand side here. Now we've just gone through the waterfall chart here. So this is a circulating supply in the public. We can see already that we've been eating up the circulating supply since May 2021 with the Pulsechain sacrifice and the Pulsechain sacrifice, really big numbers, over 5 billion there. A whole ton of other things that have been eating up the circulating supply. And slowly after time, we've got the Hex Investment Trust, the HSI, Hedron 350 million, and Maxi 300 million, slowly eating up the circulating supply. And before us, as I just showed in the presentation, with Icosa and Maximus coming, we've actually got potentially maybe we might get 150 million for Icosa. It's a question mark, don't know, just put that in. Bigger pays better, but this one here is a far more probable target. This is bigger pays better for all the Maximus projects here. So if we look at these four here, it really is a big deal. We get 600 million. That's awesome. If we get 10% of that buying on market, that's 60 million hex buying on market. That's really cool. We've got about 165 million in the liquidity pool at the moment. So that's a lot. And of course, that really pushes the price back up over 10 cents, well above 10 cents there. So looking forward to that. And then maybe we do extremely well in Maximus and of course get another 50% bonus. That'd be huge. We did do that in the original one there for Maxi. We thought we were going to get 150 million. We got 294.3 million. So bullish. So this is our near-term picture here over the next 4 to 6 weeks is my guess, subject to launch dates and things like that. But the minting phase is going to be like 14 days long for each of them, I believe, for Icosa and Maximus. So that's going to be pretty cool, particularly for We Are SA. So we're going to have final numbers there. Obviously, Alex coming up with the Icosa details up on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sloth Crypto there. So once we find out details, presumably it's going to be about the launch and maybe a few other features, other things that are around the ecosystem, but looking pretty good. But longer term, of course, we've got many things coming up in the future. Power City Flex may launch on Ethereum. At the moment, they're scheduled for Pulsechain. And of course, we're going to try and get Power City on here to talk about that. This is the third big second derivative play on Pulsechain. On Hex, I should say. And of course, then we've got other projects that will probably come into play. Hearts Wallet Sacrifice potentially. The Hex Investment Trust going public. So here we've got the Hex Investment Trust privately, but going public there. Now, someone, I can't remember who it was in the comments, said that they've got their IRA going in this week, I think it's this week, going into the Hex Investment Trust. So people are still topping that up. Once they reach 10 million, I think it's 55 or 50 investors, then they can then apply to go public. And that's the Hex Investment Trust here. And of course, it's been run by Kinetics and Wales Only. And of course, doing a great job there, bridging the fiat world. So Icosa, Maximus, Power City Flex, they are within crypto, building on the ecosystem around us, whereas the Hex Investment Trust playing a very critical role with the fiat world. And this is really, really powerful, bridging the gap to the big asset markets, the big ones, just like a Bitcoin Grayscale Trust does. This is what the Hex Investment Trust is doing. It's very pivotal. And of course, longer term, that could be massive for buying pressure on Hex and opening up Hex to the traditional markets like on NASDAQ and things like that. So pretty cool. Later on, we've got virality of highest stakes expected at the end of this year. And potentially that we could have some huge streamers there. Maybe some of the top 5 potentially, Disney, Netflix, things like that. So it could be pretty good. We've also got Pulsechain, obviously going to be a mega big benefit. Obviously, the network effect and the wealth effect playing, plus a lot of hexagons already sacrificed in there. It's going to be absolutely amazing to see that. And of course, then we've got the EB exchange coming out with Rack and Rochelle, Overwatch, and of course, everything blockchain, the technology firm. Also opening up some of the similar things to the Hex Investment Trust there with fiat gateways and of course exchanges, stock market and crypto exchanges, coin listing sites important for Pulsechain, and that could become the premier coin listing site. Obviously, we've got other ones going to be out there, but this is, I think, because it's so integrated, it's going to be pretty powerful. And also, they've got the marketing budget that a lot of the other projects that build won't necessarily have unless they do some sort of sacrifice to try and raise those funds. So very, very cool. But they're not on top of that. They also have the professional expertise that a lot of these other projects don't have. You know, they've got good coders, but they don't have everything else that goes to it as well. Liquid loans, fiat, of course, obviously with lending and so forth, that's also going to leverage, blows out the assets, pulls them up really huge, and that's coming down too. So liquid loans are fiat, a fork of Liquidity on Ethereum, and of course fiat, a fork of Aave. Super, super bullish there. And who knows what else we'll get. And so obviously you can see the circulating supply of Hex is going to really start to dwindle in the public hands. Obviously the Origin account has its, but we've seen that it's never sold, that it actually operates as an operational kind of manager through its behavior. A big payday at stake. Of course, we got up to over 98.7% or something all Hex staked. And of course, we see staked out 10 years, and of course, regulating the APY. Recently, we saw Richard talk about the APY. It was a pretty interesting little alpha drop there, and talking about possibly the APY is a little bit higher. So does that mean, obviously, who knows who controls the Origin account and Sacrifice wallets, but could that mean that the APY, that we might see some more staking in the future based on that insight, which I think is probably reasonable and kind of expected anyway, as the APY gets regulated, as the growth of Hex continues. Now, pretty interesting time. I could speculate on some of the timing of that, but it's going to be pretty fascinating to see that play out. So this is kind of the roadmap in the more future-looking, forward-looking. You can see how we go, but potentially over the next 4 to 6 weeks, we could see 1 billion Hex being staked, and maybe 10% at the top end getting market bought. So we will find out. I don't know the questions to that, the answer to that. We're going to find out, but certainly bullish in any case, even if it only does 20% of that, 50% of that. I think it's still going to be pretty interesting to see that. But ultimately, I think more Maximus is reliant on getting the bigger pays better, more out of it, because that really maximizes the benefits. Yeah, let's watch it. It's going to be fun to see how Acosa and Maximus play out over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Booyah! But in any case, I think it's pretty bullish. So looking forward to that. All right, cool. Let's get into the markets. We're going to have a lot of fun here. We've got Bitcoin. Before we do that, let's get into some of the comments in the chat. Let's go. We've got Z in house. Hex will be 120,000 stakers soon. Yeah, we just got over 100,000, and we're almost, I think it's showing up almost 101,000 on the stakers. So we've been climbing really nicely with these triple digit numbers. Very cool. You got to remember, even when Pulsechain comes and we fork Ethereum, and we're going to have 2 copies of Hex, that the same holders hold them, right? And both chains are going to be flourishing, the Ethereum chain and the Pulse chain. And both players will be holding these tokens, and therefore both of them earning passive income. So I think the more people start to think about self-interest from that point of view, then obviously we're going to see some pretty similar behavior. It's going to be fun. Rod's Fitzpatrick says, is that 1121 stake your suit, man? No, it's not Rod's Fitzpatrick. That's pretty funny. May the force be with you, says Wookie. I like it. And Pulse says, I don't want any more Hex. I want more Pulse chain as soon as possible, says Pulse Beta. I'm with you on that, Pulse Beta. When launched, we say when launched. Casta B's in house, wonderful soul. She is Olivia Rip. Yeah. Once again, a big Olivia Newton-John passed. Obviously, been a huge entertainer, lovely person. And of course, we all remember her from many of her movies. Obviously, of particular note is the Grease movie. Yeah, wow, 73 years old. So yeah, we definitely remember her. Rest in peace for sure. Z says Hex copies will be nice, says Z. They will indeed. InvestX is in house. Morning all. Hey, good to see InvestX in the house there. I've been meaning to look at InvestX. I probably will want to talk about that coming up. Maybe InvestX, if you could hit me up in Discord, the link's in the video description. Maybe we'll talk about that. That would be something that I actually kind of like your platform there. So I just want to get a bit more sense about it. That's probably where I would like to go. Francis in the house there. Hello all. Good to see you, Francis. And Z says swap free a copy of Liquid Hex to PLS as soon as it launches, says Z. Swap free copy of Hedron also into PLS, as Z says. Swap free copy of PLSD into PLS free, says Z. Man, Z, you're going for gold on the chat there. Can't wait. Selling goals for PLS there, says Z. So Z is a PLS maxi. So there we are. Nice one. And I say that in the nicest words, of course, after all the controversy. Anyway, we've got BTC at the moment, $23,778 at the moment. Look at that little nice little uptrend there. Now, the simple moving average of 100 days is $25,503. So we're heading towards there. We did get to 24,000. Was it yesterday? That was pretty impressive. So 24,251 was what we got there. So looking pretty good there at the moment. And of course, probably benefiting most of all is Ethereum with the expected, expected merge, I should say, coming up on the 19th of September. So up at the moment, $770, up 2.2% for the day. BTC up 0.63%, and BNB taking a little bit of a breather at the moment, down 1.3% at the moment. Let's get to Hex. Woohoo! Come on, Hex, you can do it. Window of opportunity is playing here. Look at this. I'm getting all excited about this. 5.47 cents. Man, oh man. So getting up there, folks. Pretty much 5.5 cents there. And of course, we're looking for this thing to pop up, to really jump up here. I'm looking at 6.2, 6.3 cents. We got the top of the Bollinger Band here is at 5 let me get the right chart here. 5.5 cents on the top of the Bollinger Band. That's the top blue line. Actually, I might actually scale it up just so you can see more clearly. The top of the blue line there, that is 5.5 cents. The bottom of the blue line, that's the bottom 5% of the price range, 3.9 cents. The red line is the 50% mark of the price range. That is 4.7 cents. And the EMA 13, which gave us our trend reversal confirmation, is currently at 4.9 cents, almost 5 cents. Isn't that tasty? I like it. I like it a lot. And we've been right in the top of that Bollinger Band as well. Came back down to the middle and, of course, just hit the 50% mark there and bounced back up to the top here. Looking good for at least a couple more days. I am feeling very optimistic we'll get to the 6.2, 6.3 cents over the next couple of days. And yeah, very cool. We're at a very critical point here right now, because we've already been up to here. We already went up to 5.67. We already went here to 5.549. Yesterday we went to 5.6. So now we're at this critical juncture now. But we have an upward moving Bollinger Band. This is our friend. This is our friend, folks, because when we had this top here, we had a downward moving Bollinger Band, and boy, was it sharp. It was a very sharp move down. Look how aggressive that was down. And of course, even though we had the spike here, it was on a big down, a Bollinger Band. So everything is now on the up, looking really, really nice there. And of course, looking good at the moment. So let's see what happens. I'm feeling very good. The window of opportunity is upon us, and we will see how it goes. Now, the other thing, of course, we've got the DMI here. The buyers are in strong control here. Sellers are weakened off here, the sellers. And we have a very strong confirmation of our buyers trend on the orange. That's the momentum of our buyers trend. That's up at 35 at the moment. 25 is a confirmed trend. 25 all the way down here. This is a confirmed trend back here. And of course, away we have gone. Woo-hoo-hoo! A nice big gap too. I suspect we'll get a little bit of volatility in here, but the next couple of days are pretty important at the moment. So watch out for that. The other thing, of course, on the RSI, we are currently at 67. We've got more room to move. We might get a little zigzag in here maybe, but still looking very good. And most of all, the stochastic RSI here. Look at this gapping up here. Very strong. Suggested the next day or two could be quite good. So we're feeling pretty positive about most of these indicators and still in very good momentum here. I would like to see us try and get to 6.2 and then consolidate there. That's kind of where I'd like to see consolidate there up at 6.2. That would also get us over these previous spikes way back here at the beginning of June. All-time low at the moment for this local low is 2.8. That was at the bottom end of the bear market. Richard, as I said, talking about 18 months into the bear market, taking it back from April there for the BTC chart. So if I just move this to the monthly chart, let me just go to monthly on this. Monthly on the BTC. So talking about Richard Hart talking about this part here for the bear market going in here at the moment. So he's talking about that we're 18 months in. Normally 12 months is kind of finding the bottom here. So that's kind of what he's talking about. He's talking about 7 October, of course. But of course, we've got ETH 2.0 coming. That has lifted the market as well. And of course, we do have on the back end here, we have interest rate hikes. So this could cause some volatility over the other side. That's why we've got a window of opportunity. As you can see there, that is the window of opportunity there. And of course, then we might face some volatility in the market after that. So just take that into account. Let's see how close this plays out. It's going to be fun to watch. At the moment, Hex at 5.5. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's go. We're looking very good. So that's pretty nice. Very nice. Let's go to the quad charts here. We've got Hedron also. Hedron is at 1893. Just pulled off a little bit there. Was in overbought territory. Look at this. This is on the RSI here. Let's full scale that. See the RSI? And that was an overbought territory there. It's pulled back. Pretty good indicator, RSI, with the overbought. Plays out a lot of times. Sometimes it can stay up there quite heightened, but most of the time plays out within a little while, a couple of days maybe. And of course, there we are, 1893, just having a cool off. Yesterday got up to 2,225, now 1893. So looking really good. And of course, Alex has some important details to share around Akosa on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time and on Sloth Crypto there. So, hey, just the way it goes. Let's jump back to there. So looking good there on Hedron. And of course, we had our poll there about people buying. How much people? I just got to refresh my memory on how many people it was. If 28% of people out of 25 said they were going to buy Hedron, 11% buying Hedron and Maxi, 3% buying Maxi at the moment. So 56% said neither buying Maxi, but we had a very strong poll for Hex, whereas 38% said they're going to buy lots of Hex over the next 4 to 6 weeks, 36% buying a little, maybe was 14%. So that's like 90% of people. That's a lot. So very cool. So Hex is your friend. Hex is building up, that's for sure. Maxi, of course, we have a look at Maxi. I'm just going to switch to premium here. The premium at the moment is 99% on Maxi, and that's just cooled off a little bit here. It's reached resistance around this 100% premium twice here. And of course, current price is at 11 cents. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh, pump the bags, man. Pump the bags. All right, look at that. Yes, 11 cents. Isn't it great to be, if you're holding Maxi and you've got 11 cents, it's like having 11-cent Hex, but it's Maxi, right? Is that crazy? Is that crazy? Does that make sense? It's like having Hex at 11 cents already, but it's Maxi. It's crazy. It takes me back a little bit just to think about that, but that's what it is, basically. And of course, this is incredible. So really, really nice there on the price. And of course, if I zoom that in a little bit there, let me take the daily candles. We'll have a look at that. I've got it on the hourly at the moment. There's the daily candles. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's looking pretty nice there at 11 cents. Very, very cool indeed. All right, let's scroll out there and we'll get back to the other one here. This is the premium. This is what we've been talking about for a long time. I said a long time, all the way back since 16th of April. Can you believe it? This premium like a boss. Remember, it was running at about 1-to-1. And then, of course, the premium started coming into the market straight away. Oh, man, up and away. Look at that. Crazy, crazy stuff there. Now at 100% there, but has reached the sort of level at the moment. And, of course, it may very well pop again once we hear news about Maximus contract. So looking really, really good. Like I say, we're in a window of opportunity. I think this chart sort of says it all up until the 25th September. Then before we get some volatility possibly coming into market. We do have the CPI. We do have a few other little other issues that may come in. Quarter GDP in August. And we've got house residentials. Sometimes the houses, if some of those the house permits, house sales and stuff come in August. We haven't had a lot of that data lately. So if that comes in, that is particularly negative. The market might react to that. So that's the only other wild card I would say. Quarter GDP and possibly the markets there. Other than that, these are the two kingpins. In other words, between these two gaps here, we've got a window of opportunity with all these pumpamentals sitting in front of us. Look at that. Is that cool? Very exciting. All right, cool. Let us jump over to the BNB coins just quickly. We've got a pulse dodge on BNB at just under 46 hundredths of a cent there. It has a little uptrend in play still. So that's pretty positive. Let's go full screen on that. You can see the uptrend still in play on that one. And let's have a look at P33. Huge volatility in this. It's got a big sell-off. Got up to 23 cents. Someone couldn't resist. Sold it down to 14. Now back at 19. So I did say back here when I can't remember where we were. We were here 16.5. I said, there might be a bit of a speculative opportunity here. Obviously not investment advice, but definitely you can make some pretty nice gains proportionally based on the way this chart's been operating. Although it is very speculative. Let me say that much. The IM wallet also facing a lot of volatility. Look at this thing. Let me scroll that down. So building up a upward trend. But man, look at this thing. Just insane volatility today. high of 1732, low of 1173, currently at 1289 on the bottom end of this. So yeah, really, really crazy stuff today, just like the P33 there. Far more speculative in some ways. But let's get to the airdrops finally. We get into the weight token. The weight token here is currently at 0.6 of a penny. 0.6 of a penny. Let's zoom up on that. Bam, pull that in. It doesn't have any auto thing, so I have to do it manually. Where's it gone? I made it too big. I made it too big. Oh, that's crazy. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Hey, it's okay. It's not as embarrassing as my previous thing I did in the first live stream. That's pretty much it. All right, so we're at 0.6 of a penny at the moment. So a little bit of an uptrend there, a little bit more recovery. Very, very cool. Let's jump over to our last airdrop coin here, Pulse Dodge coin. It's currently at $6.65. It has come back here. Now, I did reassess during my first live stream, said that it's a good chance it could come back to test this line. That got pretty close so far, 6.28. And, of course, we're currently at $6.65. So it has had a nice little healthy pullback there, but it's still got a nice uptrend as well. Now, the staking is still coming. The Dodge Bitcoin, as they call it, is still coming. So anyway, if you'd sold at the top here, though, you'd be able to buy back a lot more volume back here at $6.65 compared to $9.53 at the top. So that's the top point, $9.53, currently $6.65. Obviously, some people, when they see the price coming down, they can't help themselves but sell. And we saw a massive volume candle in yesterday from people selling pretty decent amounts. Probably not at the top of the whale list there, but you know, basically how the high price has gone up. Even people with 15, 20,000 sell down. That's a lot of money going out of the pool. So yeah, that's pretty much the way it goes. It's a transfer of wealth, right? Transfer of wealth. So there we are, up and away. Still holding up pretty good though. So we might see a bit of trying to stage a recovery here somewhere in this zone is what I suspect. I don't suspect it's going to really break down. I think it will manage to hold itself up with staking still coming. That's still coming. And of course, depending on what the whales are doing as well, is what you want to be watching, whether someone's accumulating here. So what we're going to fight is going to be a bit of a battle here to keep this uptrend in play. We've still got 3 supports here, as you can see. Of course, down to the bottom here, it's around about $5. So it's quite a bit of pullback from $9.53, but definitely plausible and still hold up this uptrend based on my chart here. Obviously, just my setup there. So cool. But hey, yeah, still looking good at this stage. I guess if we get down to $5.53, we're kind of getting some support here with these spikes here. But this is probably the biggest support here, $4.77. You wouldn't really want to get down that low though. So maybe $5.50 is the lowest. But once again, I think the battle's going to be here. We may see it bounce back and do a bit of a U up here and continue on. If it does continue on, get over $10, which I suspect is the play from some of the whales. They want to get it up into the $13, $14 mark is kind of where you want to get this up to, and maybe to start defending that line. And then again, if bigger hands come in, who knows where this could go, right? We have got the plane up here at the $20 mark. Let's see whether we can stay up there at the stage. So cool. Let's turn it around though. At the moment, we've got a red plane. Hey, we love the red plane. It's just the way it is at the moment. So that's where we are. Let's see if we can turn this around and get back up there. We'll be watching pretty closely. Woo-hoo-hoo. Now, the retrace at the moment from there down to the current price is 30% at the moment, but we have been as low as around about 38%. So just to where it is. And obviously to get back up to the top, back up to where we were, we need to get up, need a 44% recovery, which is a pretty nice gain in the hand, right? That's pretty nice gain. $1.45. I think that'd be pretty interesting to see how that plays out. Very cool. All right. Watch. As I said, watch the whales as well. But once again, once the price gets up there, even the holders below can definitely pull the price down because they're now that much more richer. Right? Something that they bought maybe at $2 is now worth $9, and so they can take a lot more out of the pool. It's pretty much how it works. But once again, staking still coming up. Woohoo! All right, that's pretty much the coverage of the charts. An hour and 9 we did that, and of course, very, very fun. If you haven't checked out the presentation, check it out at the beginning of the video. 2 parts to that, and of course, also we've just gone through the charts as well. Hex at the moment looking like a boss, 5.5. Are we going to get a bit of a blow up to 6.2, 6.3? That's where I want it to go to. Yes, I do. Woohoo! Let's pull up, look into crypto. Look into Hex, sorry. I always say look into crypto, look into Hex. Let's have a look let's dream about where the price might go. Before we do that, of course, let's get into some of the chats there. We've got a few people in the house. Rothko says, good to see you, Superman. Hey, good to see you, Rothko. And Jack Hacks there. Hey, Super, Wolverine's copping some heat, and so is PLSD. Would love to hear your thoughts on long-term longevity of this project. Plus, All Blacks need some dance trying to help some footwork. Man, sounds like they're having a terrible season, the All Blacks. When I used to watch it, we had so many superstars in it, and I don't know if we've got that anymore. Seems to be the case that they're losing against Ireland. I love the Irish people in Ireland, but they're a great rugby nation. But the All Blacks are supposed to be, this almost little G godlike status. That's pretty much it. Hey, what can you expect when you have a 38% pullback in the price? Wolverine's going to get a little bit slack there around that, but like I say to you, the chart's still looking okay. Chart is still looking okay, but there is definitely a battle going on here, this battle zone at the moment. So it's got to hold up there. You can get cascade failure, and remember, Wolverine did say on the video, he said, oh, I'm worried about the small guys. I'm worried about the small guys because I run on the bank, as I called it. People can empty the pool pretty quickly. And of course, how much dry powder do they have? The whales have to defend that. I imagine they've still got quite a bit, but of course, you've got to willing to commit to that too. So this is an interesting play. What else we got going? Hopefully, that's my opinion. Jack X there, JX. Jack Hex, sorry. Cryptomaniac says, I'm most excited for Hex Weekly and MACD going positive. Says Cryptomaniac. Nice perspective there, Cryptomaniac. And of course, Rothko says 11 cent Hex. Those were the days. Lol says Rothko. Yeah. 8 cents is coming soon, I think, says DB. Yeah. So that's a good point. If we get to 6.2, then, 8.2 is in play, right? 6.2 cents Hex, 8.8 is in play. And we haven't really had any big candle days yet. Even yesterday with this big green candle, what was this? This was 5 cents to 4.6. So only 6/10 of a penny. We have not even had a cent day. We know back in the day when we were rising up that parabolic for the last run to 52 cents, that we had 10-cent days in there. We had 2 10-cent days, I think. One was maybe 9.5 cents. Of course, that's dramatic in a day. Some serious buying power coming in. So yeah, we haven't even got up to that yet. So 5.5 to 6.2, I think that's fairly easy. Let's see what that would take at the moment in terms of buy pressure. Let's see what that would take. Let's jump over here. Man, are you having fun? I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun because I'm pumped. I'm pumped, man. This is so much fun going on here. $800,000. That gets to 6.3. Oh my gosh, we don't even need that much because we're up at 5.5. What am I thinking? Remember the other day we need like 950K. We need 1.1 million, 950K, now 850K. Now it looks like we even need less there. Let's try 650K to get there. 650K, just slightly higher, maybe 700. Let's go 700. 1, 2, 3. 700K, just under 700K to get to 6.2. That's my next price target. Woohoo! And before we used to be up at like 1.1 million, 1.4 million. We've just can't keep coming down, and it does have its volatility. But man, if we get some decent buying, just a couple of buys would be pretty cool. Let's go to the whale bot. Haven't checked the whale bot for quite a few days. Normally I always check this. Let's see what's happened in the last 24 hours, and see what the larger whales are doing. Let's have a look here. 20 hours ago, 5.4 million Hex was bought for $300,000. That's pretty cool. That was at 5.5 cents, which is the current price now, ironically. 20 hours later, it was still at 5.5. Your friend Somni got some insight. It's 50, the fluffy bunny again. Wallet 50 has 80 million liquid Hex and $34,000 of Hedron and $6,700 PLSD. Has 34 million total Hex. Okay, so this could be a trader's account here. Hex, including the stakes. Now, I remember your friend Somi talking about this last time. Next big stake is October 2022 for 2.3 million due. So that's kind of there. Give that a big heart there. What's Hexicat say? Hexicat is clapping. Good to see Hexicat in there too. So that is what they've got in their wallet at the moment. Let's see what else they've got in there. 80 million liquid, 34 million total. The next stake coming out there is in October. And at the moment, they've got 1,262 T-shares, 8 stakes. And it says their portfolio value was worth 1.9 for 5.5 cents. So interesting stuff there. I don't know if anyone else has got any. Meanwhile, the 0.1 dudes. This person's saying the people that are waiting for 1 cent. That's sad, man. That's sad. Hey, look, people waiting for 1 cent. Now, you got your limit orders. You never know. There could be a spike down. and bounce back. You just never know, but it's looking less probable now, right? Probability is against you. This is the way it goes, especially with my presentation I just did, which is pretty bullish, right? So there we are. All right, so cool. Let's jump out there. So yeah, 700,000 to 6.2. Let's see what it would take to get to 8.2 cents, which is kind of the next target around there. Let's go. I guess let's go 1.5 million. I'm not sure what it actually is. So let's do. No, we need more than that. So let's go $2 million. 3, and of course, yeah, $2 million will get us to 8 cents. So we're probably looking at about about $2.1 million to get us to 8.2 cents. That's kind of the next target after that. So 700,000 is what we need for the next target for Hex, and that is not too far away. You think about it's just up to here. Let's just do a little math on here. Up to about 6.2. That's about here. So about 12% gain. 12% gain. So I still think we've got that room with the RSI and things in the room there to do that. So let's see how we get on. Obviously, I don't know what timing is going to be or whether it's actually going to happen, but the probability looks good for it. All right, so let's go out of here and check out any other things that have been going on here. We had 3 million Hex sold for 163,000 an hour later. So there we are. That's what we had, big sell there. Ouch, this guy lost $6,000 to a scum MEV bot. Ouchie. Cockroach algorithm scum keeps stealing money off innocent people. Super Shark wallet 3DBC has 279 million total Hex. Ouchie, oh, woo! Super Shark, that's annoying, isn't it? 24.9 million liquid Hex. The rest is staked, and almost 33.5 million Hex staked due 30th of November there. So cool insights there. Look at that. That was the MEV. What a really pain in the butt that is. And then there is the portfolio. So 15.6 million US dollars. Large Hex holding 279 million. Liquid Hex there at 25 million and so forth. So some big stakes there. What's that? 15,694 T shares. Woo! That's a big one. 4 stakes there. Nice. So looking good there. What's it got? 20 November coming out. 1,936 T shares there coming out there. 30 million principal. Interest 3.5 million Hex there. So total 33 coming out there in November. It's got February 23. Then it's got the big ones coming out in February 23 there as well. So it's got 135 million there too. So some big stuff coming out there. May coming out 30 mil. So very interesting there. All right, cool. That is nice. Thank you very much for that. Don't know if we've got any other comments. No, that was it. Let's see, go forward in time. We got 14 hours ago, we had 3.3 million sold for 176 there. So these 2 sales pretty much kept us from going higher earlier, right? 14 hours ago, because we had that big buy and then it got sold into from those 2, a couple hours later, or 7 hours later for the second one there. 4.5 million in stake there, penalty, 394,000 Hex. Thank you very much for your business, as we Hex stakers say. We had the Hex stuff there. I think that's it. So 3 big moves there, 1 big buy and then 2 sales in there. Cool. That's what kind of we're up to. Hey, an hour and 18. Amazing. Let's see what happens to this chart tonight. Next few hours, we could even get this moving higher and once and for all start moving into a higher position. But this chart's looking pretty good to me. And importantly, I guess, is these RSIs. We're not quite in overbought territory yet. And the stochastic here still got room to move as well. So maybe another 2 days, say, something like that. Maybe 2-3 days. But of course, we could get this kind of action, right? We could get this elevated buying action where we're in overbought territory for some time before we pull back. So that would be really, really cool. And we still have this big gap between buyers and sellers. So I'm pretty optimistic. And not only that, of course, we've got all this stuff coming up in August and possibly early September here. Remember, this Maximus kind of overlaps here in September, because I don't know the exact launch date, right? They've still got audits and things. But Icosa here is looking very good for a big update here, possibly around the launch date, which seems logical. So we stay in tune for that. All right, how about that? I think that's pretty cool. Let's quickly check some of the others. We got the PLSD currently at $6.65 and Hex currently at 5.5 cents, looking pretty nicely there. And finally, let's get back to out of this one and get into the other tokens. We're going to get into this. So we've got Hedron at 18.82 and Maxi at 11 cents. Woo-hoo-hoo! I just love that, man. And the premium. And what's the premium? Let's have a look. premium on this one, and 99% at the moment. Premium over Hex, looking really, really good. All right, let's get in some more comments. Cryptomanic says Hex USDC 0.3 liquidity pool looks amazing too, says Cryptomanic. Yeah, I haven't actually looked at liquidity pools on there. That's another way of looking at the market. What's the TBE BS? It says the Pulsechain. Not sure what that you're saying there. With that, do Hex investors have Stockholms been down for 1 year? Everybody, I'm not sure what you're saying there, SB. There's a couple of questions. You guys got to write the questions so I can actually understand what you're saying. What's the best value buying Hex ecosystem right now? Says Pulsechain. Hey, look, we just showed you the chain. It's pretty obvious now, but you've got to decide what you are going to invest in. Really is the way to go. Chinchin says Hex at 8 cents would be roughly 45% gain from here. Yep. So we're talking about 11, 12 to 40% there. We're also talking about potentially a 40% gain in PLSD if it recovers. That's more speculative in my view, though. SB house buy now better than to buy at 55. That's true. Buy now for sure. Hex on air. Good morning, family. Good morning to you. Let's jump back to the Hex chart there. 5.5 cents. Good to see Hex on the air in the house. Pulsechain says, do you think 1 cent can't Pulsechain Luna SHIB? I'm not sure what your question. You got to write your question better. These questions are not written very easy. Do you think one can't Pulsechain Luna SHIB or Cult is more realistic? I don't know what you're saying there. If you could just rewrite that just a bit easier, just to keep it to one topic, one concept there. SB in the house there, with so many projects in the ecosystem, any advice on airdrops, a claim for Pulse and Pulse sacrifices? SB, the weight token is the only one that I'm aware of at the moment. We covered that earlier, so you can check that out, the weight token there. Cool. I'll actually pull that up for you so you can check it out in your own time. Ma'am, let's check it out. So sacrifices, if you've sacrificed for Pulsechain, PulseX, Liquid Loans, Mintra, Genius, Hurry Cash, Fiat, or Internet Money Dividend, you can claim this. Obviously, we suggest that you wait because the more you wait, the more you get. Pretty much it. You just got to claim before Pulsechain launches. That is pretty much it. Cryptomanic says, Hex Token, what are your thoughts of US banning Tornado Cash? Yeah, overreach, right? Overreach, Cryptomaniac. I can understand them trying to close down a particular agent, but basically they're taking down the whole platform, right? So it's overreach, really is. Obviously, we know a lot of people. Fiat is where most of the stuff happens. So crypto is a very small part of the market. Yeah, it's just it's just typical SEC stuff, really. Who cares? Pay your taxes, says CSB. Doug, we don't have any swearing on the channel. It's even if it's a little shorthand. We don't have that. It's a family channel. So yeah, just if you don't have any of the WTF stuff or anything like that, much appreciated. All right, cool. What else we got going there? Let's start joining into some of these. Yeah. So yeah, got 2 comments there, Doug. Sorry, man. We'll try to keep any language thing out. Cool. Let me just taking some of these. Yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah, this is the weight token if you want to claim. Pulsechain says, Mint, do you think Pulsechain hitting 1 cent is more realistic than tokens like SHIB and Luna hitting? Oh, absolutely, Pulsechain. Absolutely. Are we talking about the main token for the main chain? And of course, if you haven't checked out all the fundamentals, absolutely insane. I've got plenty of videos on that. As you know, with your title there and your name, hitting 1 cent is way more likely. SHIB has massive inflation. Luna was a complete pump, and of course, it ended up being a flawed endogenous stablecoin system, and of course, it fell apart, right? So yeah, but Pulsechain is like Ethereum. If you think about it's more like that. It's an asset class. So yeah, it really is cool. SB says, thanks, Superman. You're welcome. Doug says, did you buy can price hit $1? I don't know why you're talking about. Did you price Doug? That's completely off topic. This is a Pulsechain Hex channel mostly. We try to keep on top of that. So once again, got to remove that comment, man. Apologize, Doug, but there's just certain things we don't talk about on this channel. This is a Pulsechain Hex channel. What else? Not really the point. It's anonymity. That's the concern. Yeah. So this is the funny thing. So talking about that is that we actually have Hurry Cash. So Hurry Cash is a tornado fork So pretty developer is anonymous though, by the way. So that's very important there. But yeah, Hurry Cash allows private transactions via immutable smart contract, which means basically you have to get in a queue. Does a queue, and then once the queue's full, like 6 people, I think 6 transactions, then it processes. So if there's a lot of volume trade through it, that will work quite fast. Otherwise, you get stuck in the queue. That's pretty much how Hurry Cash works. So cool. In fact, I think we can go to Hot Pulse list. Hot Pulse list. I think I've got it up here. Oh, it's not showing up actually. Have I got the Discord open? Let me just jump to the Discord. We're going to go to our new token links. So these are new tokens. So if you're looking for new projects, all the project links are in the Discord. Join our Discord, links in the video description. If you like good community, good information, it's a place to be. We've got new token links here. We've got the Pulse Police. If you're wanting to see whether airdrops are kind of legit, you're not going to get scammed, the Pulse Police sort of is your best place for getting some devs to have a look at it, assuming they've looked at that already. Pulsechain News, of course, got all the projects. There's probably the biggest list of projects on Pulsechain News. We've got Hex Pulse if you're looking for sacrifices. You're interested in some of those participating with no expectations in equity raises. That's the way you look. Pulse Hot List, of course, is the project comparison site. We're going to quickly check this out as well. So let's go to what we were looking at. We were looking at Hurry Cash. Was it? I can't remember now what I was actually looking for. We got what was I looking for? It wasn't that one, was it? Let me. I'll Fiat. No, it wasn't Fiat. Let me go. Tornado Cash. It was Tornado Cash. Hurry Cash. That's the one. Hurry Cash has got a 75 on it. Complete decentralized protocol for private transactions. I'm just interested to see what these guys are saying about it. No security problems known so far. Copy to tornado.cosh website design. Unknown team with no possibility to contact. And of course, that's kind of where it's at the stage. Tool completely decentralized protocol for private transactions. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Hurry Cash is decentralized protocol designed to help users whenever you transaction these chains. We have played around on the testnet for this on this channel. We've actually done that before. Actually, no, I've done it offline. I haven't done it on YouTube. I've done it myself, and I had to wait. I was like number 5 out of 6, and I had to just keep waiting. So it's not a great one to do on testnet because there's hardly anyone testing it, so you don't get much action there. So cool. That is pretty nice. All right, we're coming up to an hour and 20, hour and 30. We're probably going to wrap up pretty shortly. What else there? What else? We've got a few comments going on there. Diablo says, right. Cryptomatic says, the main issue is if you have any connection to a wallet that's used, whether you received or not, they are wanting to consider you a criminal, says Cryptomatic. That's a big problem, CM. Absolutely. And of course, you want to avoid that for sure. Let's go back to Hex. Hex at 5.5. Woo-hoo-hoo! How are we going to finish the live stream when Hex is breaking out? I don't know. It's a tough one on me. Hex is the GOAT, says DB. Well, Cryptomania, it's not like what you can do about the SEC other than, try to challenge it if you can. Hex is the GOAT, says DB. Absolutely. Thanks for the heads up. Was unaware of Hurry Cash, says Cryptomania. You're welcome. Hurry Cash is going to be hard to stop because it's not known. And unless there's some illegal activity in there, the SEC, you really probably can't do too much. They've got to know about it as well. So it could take them a long time before they end up knowing about it. And of course, we may have alternative techniques by that time, solutions as well to do privacy. Joan Gonzalez, morning everybody from Gran Canaria. Hey, good to see you, Joan. I say never saw your crypto transferred to somebody as currency. That's 10 million in. Wristwatches 8 million was paid in crypto. Hint, no fiat, no need for tornado. What else have we got? I believe in Hex. I believe in Richard Hart, says SB. Where so do we? All right, cool. We're coming up to an hour and 30. The price is looking really good. Hey, I may jump on later on if the price does blow up. It looks like it's really winding up here on the Hex chart. This is looking good, man. This is looking good. And of course, look what's coming. Look what's coming. The window of opportunity. Bam. The window of opportunity is coming. This chart's looking pretty good. So as I say, I want 6.2, 6.3. It looks like we're going to need about another 700K to get up there. And of course, that's a nice 12% rise. 12% rise from here. And of course, if we get up to 8.2, we're going to need, what did I say, about $2.1 million net buying. And of course, that will get us about a 48% gain from here. So looking good. Now, how am I feeling? I'm feeling good about a 6.2, 6.3. That's kind of where I'm feeling at this moment. But of course, once we get there, if we consolidate, opens up the road for 8.2. And of course, the higher the base we are, the more impact that any buying will come from Acosa and Maximus coming up in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Looking juicy, folks, juicy as well. Am I allowed to say juicy? I don't know. Maybe that's illegal. Bitcoin question has come and says cookies and crypto. It is. TV Cooper, hey bud. Cookies and cryptos in the house. What else we got going? We got Windows are wide open, says DB. Absolutely, Windows are wide open. I believe in what's it? Hextron. Hextron says Gentian. I like it. Rothko pump. Yeah. Superman pump. Yeah. It's a Hex Token channel pump right on at the moment. Lord Thrash West says, hey, I'm an artist using some new only one. How RX Maxi says, let me, if you want on image for free, I will make you one. I only will help RX Maxi says, Lord Thrash West. Nice one. You know, we're an RX Maxi channel, but we're not a mean channel, if you know what I mean. We're not mean to other people if they're not Maxis. So there are some RX Maxis that are mean to other people that aren't Maxis. So we're one of those channels that are a bit down there. We like to be open arms to people as much as possible. Although we do talk mostly, this is a Pulsechain Hex channel. We're not going to talk about, you know, in depth other projects. Respect the pumps, SDB, absolutely. Jean in there, I like it, parting already. SB says, if I had employers, I would pay them in crypto, not fiat, let them deal with the fiat part. Hey, you know, people have done that, right? There's lots of stories about people that have paid people in crypto. Obviously, there's probably a lot of companies that are crypto companies that do it, but non-crypto companies, that's probably the fun part. You Rock Suitman says, Astrid, hey Astrid, always good to see you in the chat. And appreciate the support there. Can we get a 05555? Yeah, I think we've got a 55 at the moment. We've got 5534. That's definitely possible. Looking bullish. All right, nice. All right, so very nice, very nice. All right, so did I have one more video? I think 1, 2, and I've played those videos. Let's play a little flashback. I just want to play this. This is a beautiful piece here at the moment, and let us jump over to this one. I really like this. I like it a lot. Enjoy this. Woohoo!
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah,
Pleasure to meet you
as well.
How's it going? Look at the bling. Flexing,
Oh,
hard
yeah.
flexing.
You know he did the watch for me.
Man. So what's in here? What's this?
Show us.
Maybe we should find out who you are first. Tell me about you, man.
I'm Art Oracle. I really enjoy everything you've ever done here to
You
get
Hexagon?
us going.
You
Oh,
Hexagon?
Hexagon big time.
Nice, man.
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you get in?
Why did I get in? Because you had the best. You absolutely had the best. I did my research, man.
Nice, man.
I was a Bell Labs researcher for 30 years.
That's
I
amazing.
knew exactly what I wanted.
Oh, the frame. My God. That's beautiful. That's really great. That is exactly the style that I love, man. Sparkly,
Yeah.
wealthy, rich, high contrast.
Diamond
You
studded.
hit it, man.
Diamond
Yeah,
studded
gold everywhere,
gold.
mountains of gold everywhere there.
I gotta say, it's pretty cool that someone would get in a private jet, have an amazing piece of art commissioned by apparently an extremely famous artist. You know, I hear that he knows 6 presidents and he's on the board of directors of some fancy stuff. Tell me the idea. Tell me the idea. How'd you get the idea?
But the ones that is really like dedicated, have discipline and passion for what they do, they become very successful like you. So this is really, you know, symbolize and epitomize, you know, success in such a big way.
I love it, dude.
It's you.
Thank you, man.
My
Thank you so
pleasure,
much.
man.
It's sick.
Great, I'm
it's
so
really
happy
sick.
that Arthur commissioned me to do that.
Nice. Ooh. Yeah, look at that.
For inviting us and
Thank you, man.
amazing, yeah. Thank
Hey,
you so much.
anybody that wants to come on a jet and bring amazing art to me, I'm welcoming them. What a great and wonderful thing.
All right, so that was pretty cool. And I really do like that. I can't wait for the highest of stakes film documentary. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And man, if they seal some deals with these top streamers, boy, is that going to be huge. You can imagine we're going to stream with top streamers like Netflix or Disney or somebody, whoever it's going to be. And of course, match that with a social media campaign from the community. And of course, you'll have people like Rack and Rochelle out there spending money on spreading the word. It's going to be very, very exciting. The painting itself, of course, was very, very cool. One of the top artists in the world, paid over $250 million last year in painting sales. So that's pretty much at the top of the market, isn't it? So very cool. SB says buy now and get your 10x one day, says SB. I like how you're thinking there. And of course, thanks for the stream, says SB. Hey, you're welcome. Just woke up. Can you go for another hour, says Kate Figure. That's hilarious, Kate Figure. Movies and Hex Token channel. I love it, Kate Figure. Ashley, cool painting. Yeah, definitely was cool. Great, says John. Ashley says that made me want to buy more Hex. Lyle says Ashley. Yeah. It's uplifting. Kate Figure says, hey, Superman and all. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Yeah, I think they did. It's Tuesday here, of course. 7 o'clock in the evening here in New Zealand. Of course, well in the future. And of course, the rest of you, you're getting the Pulsechain and the Hex from the future. That's pretty much how we roll here. Very cool. All right, we're going to, we've got the Hex. It looks like it's going to blow up, but hey, I might come back on later. I do have to get some dinner. So, hey, we might have a third live stream. You just never know, and check out the charts later. And how mad it says, did Gunther dump on everyone? Lol says, I don't think so. I think it was smaller wallets. I haven't checked that. Let's do it. Let's go have a look. I wasn't going to do that, but let's check that out and see what's happened with the biggest whales. I wasn't going to actually check that. Oh, where have I got there? I got right. I need to go to the contract. Let's see what the whales look like at the moment under the Pulse Dodge coin. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the holders here, 260, 256. This is the origin account for Hex. This is the BA address, the benevolent address for Pulse Dodge coin. So these two we're going to ignore. 260, that looks the same. It doesn't look like much change there. No, that was no change there. So we're looking down at the smaller wallets in the whales. We've got 211, 126, 128, 117. Let's see if any of these actually sold any. 211 looks like it hasn't changed. No change there. Let's go to the next one. So that's whale 1, whale 2. We exclude these two. We've got whale 1, whale 2, whale 3. Let's go to whale 3, 128. I don't think this changed. No change in that whale. So far, that whale's the same. Whale number 4. Let's go, 117. Don't think that's changed. 1 day, 1 hour ago, we've been buying. So buying there. This was the whale that was buying, the last whale that we saw that was buying a lot. And that has not changed. So they're sitting on that at the moment. Let's go back. So that's whale number, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4. So whale number 5. So look here, 66,400. 17 hours ago they did sell some here, 17,000 41 days ago. So it was ages ago. So 17 hours was the last buy. So no change there. Pretty good. What else here? Whale, the next whale. This is the last whale for over 50. What do we got here? So 6 days, no change. The whales are tight. The whales have not moved from what I can tell. I'm pretty sure we had 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it seems like I'm pretty sure there were 6. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there were 7. They seem to be intact. So really, it's these wallets down here that have been trading. Because I'm pretty sure I saw a couple of these end up are the ones that have pulled this price down here. Yeah, that seems to be the case there. I haven't been following it that closely, but the big whales certainly look intact as well. So yeah, there we are. And now, the other thing is that we had these ones are still millionaires. So we've still got whale 1, whale 2, still millionaires here. And I think this one was a millionaire, but they've dropped down possibly since obviously they've all dropped down, these ones here, since the price dropped from $9.50. So yeah, pretty interesting. All right, cool. There we are. I think that's probably as much as we're going to cover on that one. Let's close out of these. We're going to close out of the presentation, close out of Alex's thing, close out of Hex and that, close out of BDC, close out of the markets, and we're back at Hex. Hex at 5.5 cents. I think we're going to wrap up soon, though. I think that's pretty good coverage. What do you guys reckon? Good session? I think so. Epic session. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. And the markets are looking juicy, man. Juicy. Let's go Let's play out some funky music on the way out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I may jump on if Hex does break out up to that 6.0 mark. I may jump on later in the evening. So stay tuned for that. We might have a little Hex market price session there as I sort of bumble around there at the moment. Cool. All right, let's go. Peace out. See you later. Woo-hoo-hoo. Bump up the price. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Woo-hoo-hoo. If you want to join us, remember, hit the join button, post, and get into our Discord, link in the description. Bye now.
Craziest part of helicopter is when he does his turns and you're like hard to the right, hard to the left. This, you know, I don't know, maybe he thinks it's more fun than just kind of like going like that. You can tell how far up we are because the trucks that move all of the land and the earth around doing mining and stuff, they look like little Tonka toys. They're like little yellow dots. When the engine stops, you die straight.
Pilot has a heart attack. Who's jumping in the seat, me or you?
You, because you're closer. And you've flown an airplane before, so it's you. I'll complain though, from my side. From my side, I'll be complaining.
Watch that mountain.
That's the biggest truck I've ever seen. What the fuck? Wow.
You're driving the baddest monster truck you ever seen in your life. Most monster trucks, they got 2 wheels in the front that turn. This one's got 4. 4 54-inch wheels turning in the front, another 4 in the back. This is an 8-wheel monster truck. It took 5 years to build. It's got a 6.6 liter single turbo diesel engine running 25 pounds of boost with a Allison 1000 gearbox 6-speed. This is a bad bitch. If the global zombie apocalypse or pandemic is coming to rain on your parade, this here will get you out of trouble. But it's not so good for getting McDonald's. It's really hard to get around, you know. It's good for bumping your head and feeling good.
pickups here, got some amazing robot action. Check out the move Tristan has planned. So we're here on the magic wall of Richard Hart. Tristan, go ahead and show them the move. It's this like smash, right? So it like moves really quick, which for like a camera, it's very fast. We're gonna do playback here so you can see it on the screen. What we're doing is showing you the Hex.com website, but then the camera just flies in right on that 38% yield. Wow! Look at that. That is movie magic, my friends!
Pretty epic.
It's a little awkward on camera. It's his first time on social media. Isn't it cute?
Okay.
It's cute.
Oh, I see. Good now.
Okay, so October 2021, I packed my life up and moved to America. 6 months later, I'm on set working with a $150,000 robot. I'd never operated one before, nor even been in the presence of one. And as a filmmaker by heart, this was super exciting. Now, did I think I'd just pack my bags in Australia and waltz onto this set so quickly? Absolutely not. All of this happened so quickly. I usually stop and think, how? How did I go from living a simple life by the beach to working on a younger self's dream set? One thing the robot taught me is we are only limited to what we think we can do.
In the reflections on it to make it so. Just do it this way.
I'll tell you this, over the 2 weeks working on set, it was thrilling, sometimes even scary. This piece of machinery moves quick. Overall, it was incredible to see the shots that came from using the robot. It's a massive step in elevating the production, but also made it fun and exciting to see everyone's reaction when the DP shouts, "Robot moves." If only I could tell my younger self that I'd be here today. I wonder what he would have to say.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, every scammer in the world is going to tell you something similar, but in this case, you are actually going to have regret.
I mean, you're scamming everyone. Richard Hart, he's got a history of being called the spam master.
There's some weird things going on with his coins.
Making one of the biggest Ponzi schemes that we have ever seen.
Hex coin is 1000% a scam coin.
People are going to lose money because of you.
Remember all the haters? All the haters that told you that I was a scammer and Hex was a scam? I got bad news for the haters. We're making new all-time highs where everything else is getting wrecked.
Price is up 4,000 or 5,000 fold in 600 days.
I've made enough money in the last week that I could buy a house in cash.
I would never have to work another day in my life.
I'm here to shill. I want to change the world, and I can only do that if people participate.
The only thing that matters in this world is goods and services. Everything else is accounting. And our made-up imaginary internet money is better than the government's made-up imaginary internet money. Both of them are only backed by the shared fiction of the humans believing that they have value.
If Hex is a religion, then Richard is God.
I'm in crypto for glory. I want to have the best cryptocurrency that's ever existed. I want to have the best performing asset that's ever existed.
And so I think of blockchain as like the internet. In the 90s, everyone thought the internet was just for email.
I bought some this morning.
They're imaginary quarters. It's like playing Monopoly.
I put it all in. I went.
Like all what?
All of our house money.
This is a force that is not going to go away. The cryptocurrency is not going away. And at some point, the people that you met that you thought were crazy loon birds, they're going to be in the 1%, and they're going to be the people that own half everything.
So as everyone knows, it's been a real rough period for crypto investors, and many are actually saying, though, that this turmoil is having something of a cathartic effect, right? In the sense that, listen, it gets rid of the poorly run coins and companies and even some bad actors. Meanwhile, the community itself has really turned into a whole bunch of individual tribes, a lot of believers, of course, committed to their favorite coins. In fact, yesterday I read where a whale reportedly bought 20 million Shiba Inu for $210 million. That would have been the largest purchase in history there. I do want to bring in now Hex.com founder Richard Hart. You know, Richard, you are the man behind Hex, and it's been some tough sledding for you, like everyone else of late. Just tell us exactly, you know, what it is, why you created it.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin's got a lot of stuff it can't do. So, you know, right now you're seeing everyone lose all their money, and I do mean all of their money, to people that said they would give them more coins. They tried to earn yield on their Bitcoin. They gave their keys to somebody else, which is the opposite of why crypto was invented. It was invented to get rid of middlemen. So what does everyone do? They give their keys to middlemen that have a good story. They're going to give you some interest. I invented something that I gave for free to Bitcoin holders that let them generate yield by holding their own keys without giving them to somebody else.
So I did some research, and I want to just ask you about a couple of things, because you've got some detractors out there. It might be a easy way of saying it. And I saw one article in one FI titled "Richard Hart's Hex Token is a Brilliant Scam." It says that the biggest problem with Hex is that the answers you just referred to being paid, but the token doesn't generate revenue. So the only place money can come from is other investors. That would be a Ponzi scheme, no matter how much you spend it. And then, of course, it goes on to say you lay it on thick. What do you say to an article like that? What do you say to an article like that?
Everyone misuses these words. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent endeavor where people are told they're going to get pay more from a business activity that doesn't really exist. It's fraudulent. And there's a middleman that pays you your rewards. The family likeness test would say that Hex is most similar to Bitcoin, where miners create money out of thin air and pay themselves their own rewards through the fruits of their own labor. And therefore, since there's no middlemen, since you mint your own coins, it cannot be a Ponzi. It can be a bubble, which is why the price drops 85% every 3 or 4 years. But then it goes on to make new all-time highs. So Bitcoin's dropped 85% 3 or 4 times now, and yet it's gone up 690 million%, from a penny to $69,000. And so all Hex is Bitcoin with proof of work change, where we pay people inflation to hold the price up through staking instead of paying them to destroy the environment through SHA-256 mining. So that's all it is. It's Bitcoin with a proof of work change.
I've been bringing a lot of folks on in your space because I'm trying to learn all of this. And again, when people found out you were coming on, I got a whole bunch of articles. There's another one I want to ask you about because, listen, obviously you've got a pretty strong following, but there was one in AZ Coin. And this is 2019. It says worrisome Hex founder Richard Hart was revealed to be a notorious scammer known as the Spam King. Again, listen.
I got sued for $500 in civil court 20 years ago. And I couldn't pay for a lawyer to defend myself because in small claims court, you can't have a lawyer defend you.
Okay.
It would have cost me more than $500 to fly to Washington to go win the case. So I don't think being sued for $500 in small claims court makes you a spam king.
Richard, where do we go from here with respect to the overall crypto space, Bitcoin, and Hex itself?
I called the top on the day. Everyone else told you Bitcoin was going to 100,000. I told you it was going down to 10,000. Why? Because it drops 85% every once in a while. But people, they forget that happens. They always think that this time's different. Nope, this time's not different. Are people paying $1 million for JPEGs, or more accurately, serial numbers loosely related to JPEGs, which may or may not still be hosted on the internet? Yes, they are. As long as people are doing that, you have to have a crash. The reality will not let idiots that buy JPEGs for $1 million survive.
For Hex, right? I understand you control like 88%.
Oh, Hex.
People want to know, as they're getting in, are you not getting out?
The best time, the origin address has never sold a single Hex. Vitalik dumps Ethereum on your head all the time. The Ethereum Foundation dumps Ethereum on your head all the time. Chainlink founder dumps Chainlink on your head all the time. The origin address in Hex has never sold a single coin, ever. If you want to know who's dumping, just go look. It's all on chain. All of Hex's trading's on chain. Unlike that crap that you see, the fake volume and fake exchange trading you see for all the other coins. All of our stuff's on chain. You can see who sold, when they bought, what other coins they like, when they're locked up for. It's a miracle. It's the most transparent trading in the entire industry.
All right. Hey, that's all the time we have. I appreciate you coming on, and I do say...
You know I called the top on the day, right?
I did not know that. I did not know that. I'm waiting for you to call I thought you were going to come on the show and call the bottom, though. That's what I'm looking for.
I'll call the bottom when it's 11K.
All right, cool.
And then maybe we go a little deeper.
Sounds good. Richard, thank you very much. All right, folks, of course, I want...
to come on. I couldn't finish the live stream. Hex is pumping. We're pumping. We're at 5.6 cents. Oh my gosh, it's going to blow out. I feel it. I feel it in my veins. Hex veins here. So I'm supposed to be finishing the live stream, but look at this price. It's like 5.6 cents at the moment. Woo! Like I say, I might have, look at that. I'm just expanding it. Look how pump that looks. 5.6. Let's see how we go. I might be back on later on. Hold on to later on. Peace out. Bye for now. Take care. Woo-hoo.